Hey everybody, I wanted to make a quick video about Seesaw Skills. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I've seen a lot of questions come up on the Seesaw community page and on the various Facebook groups with Seesaw about being able to see who's turned in their activities, but all in one spot. Of course, you can open an activity and you can see who's responded to it and who hasn't. But as far as seeing like who's responded to my activities for this week and who has not, and I want to see those all in one place. You can do that with Seesaw Skills, and it's pretty easy to set up. Now, one caveat here is that Seesaw Skills, this is only available with either Seesaw Plus or Seesaw for Schools. All right, let's take a look. All right, so here we are in my fake classroom. And to start off with, let's just talk about skills a little bit. So I'm going to go right up here to the wrench icon, and I'm going to go down to my class settings to where it says skills. Now, skills are a way that I can assess student work, right? So I can say, for example, counts to 5, and I can put that skill right onto an activity, and I can score students on a rating scale. And you can customize that right in here, both by the number of stars and by your color scheme. You can also add skills here too. So this is where, for the purpose of keeping track of which students have turned in their work, I would create a skill for the day and date. Now, you could also do this for each week. It just depends on how many activities you're doing each day. Okay, so let's say I'm doing it for the week. So I'm going to create a skill, and it's going to be called Week 1. And then maybe you could put a date on there for that first week. So maybe if your first week was like January 5th or something like that. Okay, and I'm totally making that up. All right. Then down here for the quick code, this is a way to look these skills up. But how I would use it for this is I would put the date, because it's an easy way to look that up. So here's week 1 and then the date. Now I've created that skill. So where this comes in handy is when you are creating activities. So let me go in and assign an activity to students. So let's say I had a word sort with short A. So I'm going to click assign. But before I assign or schedule it to assign to my students, I'm going to go up here to edit folders and skills. Okay? And I'm going to go over to the skills tab. And then you can see here are some of the ones I've created. Like if it was for a certain day, then I would tag it with that skill. But I'm doing this one for a whole week. Again, you can do this whatever works best for you. So there we go. I click the check mark. And I would add this skill to every activity that I shared during this week. Or if you're using it for each day, you could tag it to that specific day. And all your activities you shared for that day would have that attached, that skill attached. All right, I'm going to click assign to class. Now, when I look at this activity, it looks like it always did. The only difference is that right down here, you're going to see that it says 1 skill. Okay, so that's how I know I've attached a skill to that activity. Now, let's see what this looks like for students. So I'm going to switch to my student view here. Okay, and there you can see that they see that new activity and they can respond to it. So I'm just going to put a little squiggle here, like they responded to this, and then have them turn it in. Right, so it's the normal workflow. They're waiting for my teacher approval. Now, as the teacher, I approve it the same way that I did before. The difference is when I go to approve it, you're going to notice that that skill has been tagged right down here, or attached right down here in the corner, and it says week 1. Okay, so now I can score this however I want and approve it. So let's just say that I've done that for all my students, right? And I've gone through and I've scored that skill. Now this is where it gets really handy. I'm going to click on my skills tab, and you can see it shows who has been scored and who has not. Okay, so I don't want to see all of my different skills. I just want to see this week 1 January. So let's go ahead and click down here on skills and say, I just want to see week 1 January. And you can see now it's showing the student name and how many activities that they've turned in for that week or for that day, however you set it up. And if you want to see which activities they've done, you can click right there on that number, scroll down, and you'll see them all in one spot. So it's an easy way to see which students have completed work and which work they have completed. Now, if you imagine this, if I did this by the day instead of by the week, then it would look the same, but I could actually have each day right across here, see which students have turned in work for each day and which number of activities they have done. So for me, this would be really handy because if I know that I had 3 activities on Tuesday, I could easily go through here and just see the numbers. And then anybody who didn't have 3, I could go ahead and click on that number and see which activities they'd done and which ones they had not done. All right, so that is how I would use Skills to keep track of which students have turned in work and all in one place. So rather than having to go to your activities as a teacher and open them all one at a time and write down on a piece of paper or on a Google Sheet who's completed it, using Skills just gives you that all in one space where you can have a cross-section that shows who's completed the work, how many they've completed, and which work that they have completed. All right, if you have any questions about using Skills this way, then you can put it right down in the comments. I hope this video was helpful for you.